Hey girlfriend, it's Simeaka, your self-care bestie and your host. Welcome to Dear Girlfriend Conversations, our favorite safe space for sisterhood, storytelling, and self-care. Okay, girlfriend, let's set the vibe. Fix your tea or grab your wine, light your candles, grab your blanket or your pillow, just get cozy and call your girlfriends because we're about to have the conversation. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's get into it. Hello, and thank you for joining me, and welcome to Dear Girlfriend Conversations. Today, we are discussing mindful mornings, how to create and have a mindful morning, and the benefits of mindful mornings. So, here's the question: why do mindful mornings matter? Simply put, mindful mornings matter because it sets the tone. The first moments of your day are crucial because it sets the tone for the entire day. We've all heard the saying, how you start your day is how you end your day. It's true. Mindful mornings set the tone for the entire day because it gives you an opportunity to practice self care and to be intentional. By recognizing the importance of starting your day intentionally, you are able to take control of your mindset, your energy, your goals for the day, and ultimately it will lead to a more fulfilling day. Overall, those first moments lay the foundation for the day. Now, first, I would like to say that I am not an expert on mindful mornings. I do not have a mindful morning. 356 days out of the year are not mindful for me. Some mornings are rougher than others, but my goal is to have as many mindful mornings as I can. Now, here's a story. Last week, I woke up, and if you know me, you know that I get up super early. Regardless of the times that I go to bed, I get up pretty early. Um, I have not set an alarm clock for decades now. Even if I have something really, really important to do, I still don't need to set an alarm clock unless I'm catching a flight. I'm not setting an alarm clock. I don't need to because I'm up super early. Now, this particular morning, last week, I got up, I guess right around 5:36 that morning. Between that time, got up. And for me, I just like I shut my house down, I open my house up in the morning. So I got up and I um, opened my blinds. I turned the music on, and I started moving about, doing a few things. And part of my mornings, depending on the morning, I make a few calls early in the morning. And this particular morning, I call my sister most mornings between 7 and 7:30, maybe closer to 8 depending on what's going on. This particular morning last week I called her right around 7 o'clock, maybe a few minutes after. And she didn't answer, which was odd because either she's calling me or I'm calling her. So she didn't answer, but she called back almost immediately. So this is how the story goes. She calls and she sounds like she's asleep. And she's like, hello. I'm like, oh, girl, you sleep? She's like, yeah, I was asleep. I was like, why? It's 7 in the morning. It's like a wild question, but she's like, I don't know. I was tired. I was like, all right, well, call me back. You can be asleep. You can be tired. She was like, no, I'm up. I'm up. Let's talk. So we talked for a while. Talked for a while. And after I hung up, I called my girlfriend who we have been playing phone tag with. I was like, let me go ahead and get her out the way. Now, people know that it's very hard to reach me on the phone. I don't have a lot of time that I chit chat on the phone, but there are a select few that can call me super early. Between 7 and 10 a.m. You can call me. The Not everybody can call at 7 or 8, but if you don't talk to me between 7 and 10 on a weekday, you may not get me to the next week because on the weekends I'm definitely not really talking on the phone. So called this girlfriend. By this time, it's, I don't know, maybe 7:45 ish. So talked to her for a little bit. called her FaceTime. Now, this was, well, I'll go back to that because I called her on FaceTime. She had her bonnet on and she had on her pajamas, which was odd because it's Friday and I expect for her to be in front of her computer and fully dressed, ready to go to work. But that's not my business. Maybe she was off. We just kept talking. In the conversation, she asked me, what was I doing today? And I thought it was odd because, girl, I'm working. Like, what you doing? Like, so I let her know I'm working. I'm trying to cut out early, trying to knock a couple things off while it's quiet. She was like, great. Hung up from her. Now, part of my morning routine is also my husband and we have coffee together in the morning. Most mornings through the week, we have coffee together. That's what we like to do. That's part of our thing. Um, but this morning, I had been up for a while, so I went upstairs to change my robe. Yep, that's my business. That's what I like to do. So I went to go change my robe. As I went upstairs, I thought to myself, I was going to ask him if he wanted me to start his coffee. But I was thinking, like, is the day Friday? Child, today is not Friday. This is the crazy part is I had been up for hours. By this time, it's a little after 8. So I had been up for nearly 3 hours. And I, all this time, thought it was Friday. Sign number one should have been to me when my sister in law didn't answer the phone or was asleep at 7 a.m. because why? It's Saturday. The second sign should have been one when my girlfriend asked me what I was doing or when I seen her in her bonnet, but I was on autopilot. So when I went upstairs to change my robe, because that's my business, I went upstairs and I was going to ask my husband if he wanted me to start his coffee. Just, I got a epiphany like, is today, what is today? That is the importance of having a mindful morning so that you don't get on autopilot. And because it gives you focus and clarity. So that's my story of me not having a mindful morning. Like it's crazy. But the benefits of having a mindful morning is it gives you that sense of calm, that calm start to the day. It releases stress levels. It increases your focus and your mental clarity. And if had I been having a mindful morning, I would have been able to incorporate those things to set the tone for my day. Um, Having a mindful morning as often as you can has a profound impact on your overall well-being. Now, that was a one-off, and I usually don't wake up that way, but it happened. Now, you imagine that I happen to wake up that way many days, I would really be thrown off. But because I'm having mindful mornings more often and I want to have them even more often, I'm able to really incorporate a sense of calm into my day. So for me, I'm going to talk about a few things that I do, just maybe like 3 or 4 things that I do for to create and have a mindful morning. And maybe some of this will help you. But the one thing I do is I like to set intention for the day. And for me, setting intention starts the night before. So what I do most nights, and this is even outside of being a part of my, morning routine, but just it's always been innate in me. But adding this to my mindful mornings intentionally is the night before, and that is setting my intentions with prayer. Now you may lean to goal setting or a mantra or something that you really want to manifest or give gratitude to, but for me, I'm going to lead to prayer the night before in intention and in gratitude, and that helps me set the tone and the intention the night before, which leads into the next morning for me. So a lot of times I'm going to start and end with prayer because that's what sets my tone and that's what gives me internal peace. The other thing that I do when I start out in the morning is I have mindful breathing. And when I wake up, I practice intentional breathing. It helps me focus on the moment, the moment that I'm in. So each breath helps me center a sense of calm and a sense of peace just by breathing intentional breaths, mindful. The other thing I do is more and more I'm limiting my screen time. And that is in the morning. I avoid checking any emails. I enjoy and avoid social media scrolling, waking up. Like I give myself a chance to be technology free, and it helps me buffer out those external distractions. So before I was waking up and I was grabbing my phone, it was part of my routine and I didn't even know it. Just grabbing my phone, scrolling, talking. But I limit my screen time. So the first thing I do when I get up is not getting my phone. It is that prayer before before at night. So I don't use screen time right before I go to bed or when I first wake up, and that has helped me a lot. Starting that breathing and choosing from my morning menu. Now, my morning menu is one of the key things that I think is vital to having a mindful morning for me. You can decide what works for you, but for me, I've really been able to prove to myself that this morning menu is is key. I can't say that enough. And a morning menu is just simply self-care options that I can choose from in the morning to incorporate into my morning routine. So like it's a reflection of intentions. And a lot of this is just intention. So I'll tell you some things on my morning menu. And my morning menu for me is forever changing. So it may change from season to season, it may change from month or week, it may even change from what's actually happening. So there are things that kind of stay in the rotation, but it's forever changing. So, like I was saying before, is waking my house up by opening those blinds. That's daily. Like rain, snow, gloomy day, sunny day, I'm opening those blinds almost as soon as I get up. Even if it's dark outside, I'm opening the blinds. Another thing is turning on the music. The volume is different now because I want to respect those in the house, but that's almost that's it. Now, for me, what I've also learned about myself while I try to be more intentional is caring for myself intentionally the way that I do for others. And that's when it comes to like my breakfast or my breakfast snack. Now, I realized that if I wanted a muffin and I was here by myself and I was working and I was just in the like groove of like, working and let me just grab this muffin. I'm gonna grab the muffin. I may or may not heat it, but I'm just gonna eat it and that's gonna be go. I'm not gonna rush it, but I'm just what I'm gonna do. But what I do is I try to be more intentional with even that. So this morning, I'll just tell you what this morning looked like, and it displays my morning menu. I got up, I opened those windows, right? Opened those blinds, and I was off to the races. Of course, I had prayer. Um, this morning, I started to breathe intentionally. I did that for a while. I got myself before I got the muffin, I got my coffee, made my coffee perfect, and I went to the rooftop. I went to the rooftop. I drank my coffee. I watched the sun come up. I sat in quiet. It was chilly, so I knew I took my jacket and I took my little my throw blanket, went upstairs, sat out there, and I was able to pour into myself without a soul around and without me speaking a word. I was able to pour into myself in silence and in beauty of just the day. That baby set the tone for me. And while I cannot do it every day, today I was able to do it and it set my soul free. Another thing I did is I had myself a muffin today. I have a muffin or something most mornings, but this morning I was able to be intentional about how I wanted to treat myself. So I got that muffin, I cut that muffin down, the middle, I warmed the muffin up, I put a little butter on the muffin, and I ate that muffin and I enjoyed it, right? So it is just things like that. And what I also did before I sent any emails and before I took any meeting is what? I danced. I sure did. I put this record player on and I danced for a little bit because it's what I like to do. It brings me joy. So for you, you could do any of those things. Um, Mindful breathing, of course, exercise. I'm staying in a state of gratitude. Um, Affirmations are good. If you want to create a playlist, all those things are good for your mornings to make them mindful. But what I want to say to you is you deserve to have a mindful morning. So this is just a quick talk to talk about mindful mornings, and it's dedicated to all of us that have not had the space to create mindful mornings. So cheers to us. So, we are at the end of the show, and I want to say thank you so much for joining us. And you know, I have something to say. Dear girlfriend, you are deserving of worthiness of self love. You are worthy of love, care, and joy. It is important that you remember self care is not selfish. Self care is not a luxury. Self care is an essential necessity to life. Take moments to breathe, to appreciate yourself, to relax, and to simply pause. Do more things that bring you joy and leave behind things that do not serve you. In moments of doubt, remember you are enough simply as you are. Your journey, your experiences, and your presence add immeasurable value to the world. You deserve the gift of mindfulness. You deserve more mindful mornings. I wish you love. I wish you peace. I wish you good health, laughter, light, and the desires of your heart. Love always. Simeaka. XOXO.